Good morning, FLOSSTUBE. It's Karen from Farmhouse Stitcher, and it's Tuesday the 2nd of February 2021 here in Australia, and I'm back to do a video. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been watching my videos and leaving comments. I really appreciate it, and thank you to any new subscribers. It's all very much appreciated, and I love getting on here and sharing this craft with everybody. I've always been a very big crafter, and I just love crafting and getting to see what other people do and sharing what I've been doing as well. So thank you very much. I do have a few shout outs from some people that I've been watching the last couple of weeks. So the first one is Mischievous Stitcher. I have not really watched her before, but she left a comment on my video and I went and watched her, and I love her videos. And then I have some new stitches, so if you want to go show some love to them, I will leave their link below. So Stitches by Shelby, Vintage Stitcher, Rainy Day Stitcher, Sammy Liz, and The Needle and Floss. So I will try and link their channels below if you want to go and watch any of those ladies with their stitching. I highly recommend checking them out. They're really good videos, and it's good to see new people starting videos more and more as well. I do have a lot to show today. I have a lot of cross stitch and a lot of embroideries, and so I'll do, as per usual, the cross stitch first, and then I've got one whip that I'm currently working on, and then I will get on to the embroideries. So just a little bit of news from that I talked about in our last channel, in my last video, where we had gotten 2 quails. So we had one that came into our yard that came from the house 2 doors up, and she said we could keep her, and we got another one to go with her. Well, it's turned out that the original brown quail that rocked up in our yard is not a wander, it's a boy. So this week we are getting a couple more females to go with them, because 1-on-1 is not a good idea. You need at least 3 to 5 females to the one rooster. So that's what's happening this week. We'll be adding about 3, maybe 4 more, depending on how many she's got to spare. And then we'll go from there. So that's about all as far as the quails. The chickens are all doing good. We did lose one this week, and we have one in the broody breaker. She's my little, I don't know how to describe it, because if you say the F word, they end up getting sick and dying. So I'm not going to say that, but she has been one that will fly up into my arms when I walk into the coop. She screams out for me to come pick her up all the time, that kind of thing. And she's broody for the 3rd time this season. So we let her hatch 1 lot of chicks, and then she went broody again, so we broke her from that broodiness in the cage that I call the broody breaker. And then, so after about 2 days, she was fine, and then about a week ago, she went broody again, and we've been trying to just pick her up, pull her out of the coop and stuff, but she's persistent this time. So she's currently in the broody breaker. This is the 2nd day she's been in the broody breaker now, which is just another cage that she can't sit and nest in. So I just went down and checked on her, and she was screaming at me when I walked away to come back and pick her back up again, because I'd picked her up. But hopefully we'll try pulling her out tonight. Last time we broke her in about 2 days. So I'm going to try pulling her out tonight, see what she does, and if she doesn't, then she'll go back into the broody breaker for another day or 2. So that's all the news from our little farm here, and I'm going to get into all my cross stitch finishes now. I don't have patterns for all of these. Some of these are ones I stitched last year while I wasn't videoing, and some of them are PDFs that I've just done off my phone, but the ones I do have patterns for, I'll show you. Now, most of you have probably seen this one. This is Love, I believe it was called, from Priscilla and Chelsea. So I stitched that one last year. I was going to do it as a Christmas ornament, so I'm going to restitch it as a Christmas ornament, but I wanted to do this up for Valentine's Day. So I had this wooden chalkboard heart that's on like a stand that I got from a cheap shop here. And so I just mounted it on some of this pink, and then mounted it onto that and added a little bow and a little flower and heart. So that's that one. That's my first finish. This is one that I stitched last year, so I don't have the pattern, but majority of you have probably seen it. So this one here is Hen and Chicks, I think, from, it's either Country Club, no, With Thy Needle and Thread, I think, actually. And so I'll come back a bit. I've actually mounted this onto a grapevine wreath, and then I added just a bit of greenery and flowers and this nest with 3 eggs in it. I mounted it onto some ticking and added just a little bit of lace and rickrack and buttons and some trim around the edge and a little bow and flower. And I love this one. This is one of my favorite finishes, I think. So that's just to go with my farmhouse decor. So I'll pop that in there. So the next piece that I've stitched, I actually recently stitched this one. I just did this one off of my phone, but it is a freebie from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. So if you could pop on over to her Instagram, she does have a blog that she posts her freebies on. I think this one was called 1869 Croc or something like that, or Love Croc, something like that. I can't remember the name. I should have written it down. Anyway, so I have this little heart canvas and I spray painted it red, and I stitched it just on some tea-dyed Aida that I did, and then I mounted it, I cut it into the circle shape and mounted it on some plain black and just a bit of greenery and a bow, a bit of tulle and a little flower. And I love this piece. This is one of my favorite Valentine stitches, I think, so far. And then the next piece, I stitched this one. I did show this pattern in my video last year that I wanted to do, which is Love is in the Air. And it's by Le Chalet de Perez, if I've said that right. I did link it in my last video for a couple of people that requested where to get it from, so I'll try and link it in my video below. Now, this pattern does not say what size Aida, or looks like they've used linen, that they used. So judging by the size of my pattern, I would say they've used probably 40 count, because it looks pretty tiny and mine is pretty big. So this is my piece. So this is a wooden heart hanging. I got this from Lincraft and I painted it red, a darker red. I stitched my piece on black Aida. I love stitching on black Aida. And then mounted it on some pink and purple and green check fabric. And I put a piece of red tulle across the middle there that I had. I did go back and then added some of the green on there because it was too dark, I thought. I did originally have the bow, the tulle bow, bit of white ribbon and the heart, and then I went back and added the other white heart and some greenery and flowers because I felt that it was too dark for me. So that's that piece, and I absolutely love this piece. I stitched like mad to try and get that one done. It was actually quite a lot of stitching in that piece. So it took me about 3 days, I think I stitched it in, and my arm was aching by the end because I'd stitched so much to try and get it done. Now this is another one I stitched just between my last video and now. I don't have the paperwork for this one, but it's a free pattern by Stitcherhood. So you'll be able, if you go onto their blog, you'll be able to find that. And then I just FFO'd this morning quickly before the video. I once again stitched it in the red on the black. And then I added a little piece of red fabric, and then some black with some white and black lace and some black across the bottom. Did some red and white trim around the edge. Excuse me. And then I did a bow again out of that red tulle. Excuse me. Give me a second. And then I just added a little white flower and a little pink flower and a little bit of greenery in behind the bow. So that's that piece. I love this piece. It actually turned out pretty good. Now, this next piece was one I don't think I showed it in my the paperwork in my last video, but I found it after that video and decided to stitch it. This is another free pattern called Awakening by the Primitive Hair. So that's that one. And it's really cute actually. So I did mine on black Aida again because I like the red on the black. And then I mounted it on some black and white gingham and just did some red rickrack down the side. This was actually just a plastic tray that I had bought, and it had a picture on it, so I spray painted it red. Then I added in some greenery and these little white, I don't know what they are, things, and a red flower. It's an Ava glittered red heart, and then I just stuck a white plaster heart on top of that. And I am super happy with this finish. It turned out really cute as well. So, and then this is one I stitched last year, and I have stitched these before a few years ago, but because I do more of the farmhouse theme, I wanted to do them to match more my farmhouse decor now. So I went back and restitched this last year, and this is the Be Mine freebie by Hands On Designs. I have a couple more of the pieces stitched, and I still have a few that I want to redo. But I just stitched that on tea-dyed Aida, and I did the Be Mine in the red with the black trim, the black stitching on the top and the bottom, and then I just did some red fabric, black and white gingham, red and white trim, a bit of greenery, and a black and white buffalo check ribbon, and a little white heart, and then just a flower at the top. So I'm super happy with that. That'll go into like a little bowl kind of finish. Now, this one here was a freebie from last year. I believe it might have been Lizzie Kate freebie, and that was the Be My Valentine. So I think it was on the Lizzie Kate website or blog. And then I just mounted it onto some black and white gingham, again, red and white trim, some white rickrack, just some greenery and a flower. And this is on one of those chalkboard easels that I just picked up at a cheap shop, and I love it. It turned out really cute. I loved stitching this one last year. And stitching that was where I decided to change up my color scheme to the red, black and white, because I think I'd seen Priscilla stitch that in those colors, so I followed her colors. This is another freebie by Hands On Designs, which is the Love You More. And this is just a piece of timber flooring. I picked up a ton of timber flooring from the tip shop, and so I mounted it. I sprayed the timber flooring the red and mounted some black and white gingham, and I stitched it on the tea coffee dyed, and then I just added a piece of ribbon, just a white ribbon that I wrapped around, and then I wrapped around some of the jute wine twine, I mean, wine. I don't drink, so it's not that I'm thinking about wine. The jute twine, and I poked in a bit of greenery, and then I tied a bow with some multiple layers of the jute twine, and then just a little simple flower and a little heart button just on there. For a small finish, I was going to do this as a pillow again like I did last year, like I did the previous time that I stitched it. But then I seen that bit of timber and I'm like, actually that goes really, really good. Sorry, I'll just bring over my next piece. So my next piece that I have stitched, this is another freebie from Hands On Designs. I think this was last year's release, which was Meant to Be. I loved stitching this piece so much that I stitched it pretty much in like a day. And then I already knew how I was going to finish this. I already had this hexagon timber piece that I'd bought, I think from Spotlight here in Australia. And then I got some honeycomb fabric that I mounted on behind it. And then I stitched it on black again because I love it on the black. And then I just added some of this greenery and yellow flowers and a little white and yellow sunflower. And I am super happy how this one come out. This one is so stinking cute. It's adorable. So I'll pop that over there. So that's my last cross stitch piece that I've FFO'd for this time around, and I'm just going to show you, this is what I'm currently working on, which is Love You from Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. It's another freebie that she's got on her blog. I don't have a picture because I'm just stitching that from my phone. So that's what I've done of that so far. I'm hoping to finish this one off today, so I can get it done. And so that's all of my stitching currently. I am going to try and do another video before, I know it won't be 2 weeks, but I'm going to try and do another video before Valentine's Day, because I've got a few more Valentine's pieces that I really want to finish off. So for anybody who doesn't want to stay and watch the embroidery pieces that I've done, thank you for watching this part of the video, and I hope to see you next time, and thank you everyone for your support. But I'm going to go into, I've got a lot of embroidery pieces I've finished, so I'm going to go into doing the embroideries now. So this is a one piece that I did, which is this gorgeous heart that I embroidered. I've done it in like a burgundy-ish kind of color, maroony color. I did it on black, and then I had this perfect match ribbon and some trim and another ribbon there that went really well on the flower, and then I just did some black and white gingham there and for the backing, and some black trim around the edge. I'm actually going to give this piece to my mum. She's seen it on the weekend, so I said after I've done my video she can have it, and I can make another one. I might do one that's in more of the red for myself rather than this color, since I've gone with more of the reddish tone with the black and white. So that's that piece. This piece here I think is my favorite embroidery so far, which is the bee kind, and it's got the bee on the sunflower. I love, love, love this piece so much. And then I just did a bit of yellow and black and white gingham. And then I've done this white bow with some twine bow and a bit of flower. And then just a little bit of that yellow stuff out each side. And I absolutely love this piece so much. Oops, I've got my hand covering it all. But this is my favorite piece. I think I want to do this as a wall hanging or a rack, or do multiples and do a table runner out of it. So I've got another bee piece, so to go with all my bee stuff. My mum really likes this piece too, so I may give this to her and just do another one for myself. So this gorgeous bee, Actually, I should tell you where I'm getting my patterns from as I'm doing it, because I had a few questions about that last time. So backtrack a little bit. The heart, the majority of my patterns come from Embroidery Library, and I'm pretty sure all of these might be from Embroidery Library anyway. So that one's Embroidery Library. The Be Kind is Embroidery Library. This bee was also from Embroidery Library. So with this one, I just did a yellow trim fabric, check fabric, some gold trim that I had. Did the yellow check on the back as well. And then I did just a bow with a bit of gold, some little yellow flowery pigs, and the black and yellow sunflower. And I like that piece too. It's gorgeous, done in that colouring. This piece here is a chalkboard cow one that I did. This was also Embroidery Library. Like I said, I'm pretty sure all of my ones this time around are from Embroidery Library. And then I had this stand, which I found from a council cleanup a few years ago. Actually, someone must have been getting rid of stuff that they had from a shop, so there were several of them. And it's got the stand, and this is red and white, the green and white polka dot with the red and white thing, and it actually had a Christmas thing in the center. So I just covered it over, and I actually thought the color went perfectly, so I didn't repaint this one. And then I've just added some white ribbon and some greenery, some leaves, and just a simple white flower. To go along with that piece, I have the chicken chalkboard one, same board, and then I've just added some greenery and a flower. I love this piece too. They're just so classic, the chalkboard kind of finishes. So getting into some of my Valentine's embroideries that I've done now. So the heart canvas that I showed, it was actually a 2-pack, so you get the big one and the smaller one, and this one had a little hole in it, so that's why I've got the ribbon there. So instead of $7 for the two, I actually got them for $3.50 because of the hole that was in this one. It was only a tiny hole, and I just put some ribbon across there to hide the hole. So this love one also was from Embroidery Library. And then I've just done more of the ribbon at the bottom with the flower, and another bow with the flower at the top. That one's really pretty. And I did a variegated thread for that one, and it's super pretty. So it's like a pink, corally pink, purple, and a lighter pink. This piece here is one of my favorite embroideries for Valentine's Day that I've done, and actually I want to do some bigger pillows. So this gingham love, or buffalo check love, and it has the pink flower, but I'm going to do some on bigger cushions for my lounge, and I think I might do more reddish tones for the flower, but I've got that was also Embroidery Library. I did the black and white gingham for the back. And then I did some rouged ribbon for the edge in this pink, green, and white. This was wide edge ribbon, and I just pulled the wire out and then rouged it up, following a tutorial from Vanna Pfeiffer. And then on the top, I just added these leaves that come off of some flowers, and some, I think there might have been some, not peonies, I can't think of what they were, but some other little flowers there. This piece I finished up last night. Just going to fluff the bow again. This was another Embroidery Library piece. It's this heart strawberry, and it's really cute. And I had this round tray thingy. It was turquoise and gold, and I just spray painted it white. I found this from a council cleanup a few years ago as well. And then I embroidered this piece on a grey and white polka dot fabric, and then I mounted it on some more of that pink, white, purple and green check, and then I just added some greenery with some pink flowers to the top and another pink peony flower, these pink peony flowers and that were leftovers from my sister's wedding bouquets that she made. And then I added some purple organza polka dot ribbon with a little white heart at the bottom. And I absolutely love it. And the next piece is another Valentine's one. This is also a pattern from Embroidery Library. And it's Oh Honey, Be Mine. I love this. I'm into the bee things at the moment. So this one here, I just embroidered this onto some calico, and then I've mounted it. This was just a piece of timber I picked up from a council cleanup that might have been from a drawer or something, I'm not sure. And I thought it went perfectly. And so I mounted it onto the board. The timber color actually matches the brown that I used in here really well too. Then I added some yellow trim around the edge. Some of this, it's like an Australian native bottle tree, brush kind of tree with the yellow flowers, greenery and flowers. And I did an organza, yellow organza bow, poked a little more of that yellow in there, and some yellow sunflowers. And I'm covering that up again. So that's that piece. And I'm at my last piece already. This is also from Embroidery Library, and I love this piece so much. This is a barn, I think it's called Heartland Barn, and I used some MDF that I spray painted red, and I scored some lines in it to give it that barn kind of wood look. And then I mounted some black and white gingham. I stitched it on just some calico. Then I added some greenery and the yellow bottle brush flowers and the yellow sunflower. And I love this piece. I'll do a close-up because this piece is stunning. If you're into the farmhouse theme, this is gorgeous. So that's that one. So yeah, all of my pieces this time around were from Embroidery Library. I do get patterns also from Embroidery Panda, and I do have a membership to Embroidery Super Deals. So Embroidery Super Deals comes up with a promotion where you can spend $20 US to get the entire access to the entire site forever. Then you can upgrade an extra $10 US and get any future patterns released included in that as well. So that way, any new patterns that come out, you also get for free when they come out, and you have access to those as well. So I have that. I don't think I've stitched anything from there yet. I need to stitch from there. And then the other place I've gotten patterns from is Designs by Juju. She has the most gorgeous patterns that I love them. I've done a few pieces from hers, but I haven't FFO'd them yet. So I really want to get in and do some of those. But majority of those are Christmas ones that I've bought from her so far. And I think I've got a few Easter ones, so I'll get stuck into those for Easter. So they're the places that I get my embroidery patterns from so far. And the other place I've gotten some patterns from is Creative Kiwi. So creative starting with a K, Kiwi. I'll try and link those places below as well. So for anybody that's interested in doing any embroidery, that's a places that you can go and look for patterns that have some really cute patterns. Designs by Juju's actually also started releasing quilting patterns, so you can actually quilt on your embroidery machine like it would be free motion quilting, and it's got end-to-end designs so that when you move it. So I really want to try that. I've got a table runner I want to do for Valentine's Day, so I might try that option for that, and I can keep you updated on how that goes as well. But that looks really interesting to give it a go, and it's going to be a good way to get some free motion quilting into my designs that I patchwork as well. And I'm pretty sure Embroidery Panda has some like that as well, and I think Embroidery Library also has started releasing free motion quilting patterns as well that you can use. So that's all my updates for now. I don't have any haul this time around. Try not to buy so much haul this year because I have so many patterns to do already, plus all the embroidery patterns. So that's it for today. And I just want to say once again, thank you everybody for watching and joining me today and liking my video and subscribing. It's all very much appreciated, and I will, like I said, I'm going to try and come back. I'll try and come back the week of Valentine's Day, maybe the day before or a couple of days before Valentine's Day with my last finishes for Valentine's Day. And then after that, I'm going to probably move on to doing a few more farmhouse things and FFOing a few more farmhouse pieces that I have stitched already. And then I will move on to Easter. So that's it for today's video. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.